What's going on, guys? Another caddy in today. It's not mine or a full build series. It's a friend of mine. He wants a couple of little jobs, colour coding, rear seats. Let's have a look. VW Caddy, he wants colour coded front bumper, side mouldings, wing mirror covers and the rear seats. And I'll tell you what, it looks nice in white, the paint's good, the condition is good. It's had a recent front bumper which makes my job a little bit easier. And yeah, we've got side tinted windows and some wind deflectors, very nice. Let me show you what he's got in the back. Front bumper being new makes my job a little easier. We've got no filler work to do or anything. We just need to rub the texture down. It is the textured plastic. I've seen a lot of call for this on the forums and the Facebook posts. And yeah, just going to show you how we colour code them. We're not going full colour code, so we're not doing the grills, the lower grills or the fog light vents. Just colour code the bumper, side mouldings and wing mirrors. He's also got a big collection of rear seat parts. He's already got this panel out. Yeah, he's a very capable geezer actually, but when it comes to welding, he wants someone else to do it. First thing to do with any paintwork is give it a wash. No contaminants, all the dirt off, all the grime, ready for paint. Let's get it on the ramp, let's get the bumper off and let's get sanding. Sun's shining today, so we're working outside. It's actually quite nice. Bumper's off, we've got the fog light grills out, fog lights, and on the Caddy, the grill, top grill, bottom grill, they don't come out. On the Touran they do, but that's fine. We've taped them up, a couple of layers of tape. We don't want to buzz through and start putting rub marks on the bits we're not colour coding. I've got 180 on the sander. I'm going to sand the texture down, maybe not all the way, just most of the way. Sand the texture down, then we're going to go over it with a 320, go around the edges with a soft pad 500. Probably going to take me about an hour to get this done. About an hour, half hour of 180, half hour of 320, go around the edges, make it nice. If you're working inside in a confined space, wear a dust mask. I'm outside, there's a slight breeze. I'll survive. Bumper is done. We'll have a better look at that in a minute. Just on the side mouldings, and I've spent a bit of time taping them up. If you're going to use a sander, you need to tape a bit further because any marks at all, you're going to see them on the door. I do the side mouldings by hand. I ended up using a block. We've got 240 on the block and then I've got 320 in my hand. I blocked over them, we've got them smooth. Then I went round them with the 320 carefully, extra carefully, and then I have run over them with a cloth and paint thinners and that smoothed them off nicely. Now unfortunately we do need to peel that tape off again for primer. You can't use the same tape, you get a crap edge. We're going to peel the tape off, re-tape them, plastic prime, 2-pack prime. We'll get the bumper hanging in the booth and we'll have a better look at that in a minute. When peeling your tape off, do it really slowly. Even the strongest of paint that would never come off in any other situations, if you peel your tape off too fast, you're going to peel some paint off and then you're in a world of hurt. So peel your tape off nice and slowly. All rubbed down and I've cleaned them with a bit of thinners on a rag, and the reason I use these thinners is because when you're rubbing plastics down it goes all bobbly and a bit textury, and it's sometimes hard to get off. So a quick wipe with thinners, then I'll pre-clean them ready for primer. Now I have only taped it up a little bit. When I paint the white I will bag the whole car up and do it in a booth, but for priming purposes I'll turn the pressure on the gun right down. This will be fine. If you're doing these at home with a rattle can, that's probably more than adequate. Taping and papering up because rattle cans come out a bit smaller. Once you've got a paint gun on full chat, we would have overspray all up here, all over the window. First of all, we're going to use some plastic primer. It's a 1K adhesion plastic primer. 1K means it doesn't need a hardener or anything like that. It just literally sticks onto the plastic, then the next primer that goes over the top won't peel off. Good stuff. So as we're just priming, I haven't got my suit or anything on, but when it comes to painting, I have a white Tyvek anti-dust clothing, especially when painting white. Any bits of dirt or dust show up in white quite bad. So for priming purposes, normal clobber will do. Plastic primer, we just need a thin dusty coat, but we need it everywhere, but not too heavy. Oh yeah, Going to do the side mouldings, let that flash off for 20 minutes, come in here, get some heavy high build primer on. Been half hour, plastic primer's gone off. Going to put a medium coat on first, all over. Let that flash off for about 20 minutes, half hour. It's quite cold, if it was the summer it'd be a bit quicker. Let that flash off for 20 minutes, half hour. Come in, put a real heavy coat on, let that flash off, and then we put one more on it. So we're going to put 3 in total on the front bumper and 2 on the side mouldings. Let's get some primer laid down. Bumper is looking good. We got 3 heavy coats on that, and it is smooth. There is a couple of areas you can see it's a little bit grainy. You're gonna get that when you rub down textured plastic, but we'll be able to sand that out with the 3 coats of primer that's on there. We're gonna let this go absolutely rock hard, and then we'll tickle it off at the end of tomorrow, maybe the following morning. While this goes hard, I'm gonna get onto the seats. Got his seats fitted last night. I won't go into too much detail on the seat fitting. If you're interested in all the information, I did make a video on this when we fitted them into my Caddy. I'll put a link to that video in the description, so if you're interested on all the info about fitting the rear seats from a Touran, have a look at that. So there we have it. Some of these back plates are welded in the Touran, some of them are bolted. This one was bolted, but rather than drill lots of holes, we just weld it in the exact amount of places there was bolt holes. Fits very nicely. On the front panel, we have to cut a little section out, weld it in, do all the spot welds, and yeah, fits very nice. I'm not going to fit his carpet back in because he is halfway through putting loads of sound matting and stuff down. So we're going to give it a hoover out, put all the seats in, and he can finish off what he wants to do after. All seat belts in, working nicely, and the middle seat, we're going to put a lap belt because in the Tourans, they have a seat belt coming off the roof and it is really ugly. So we're doing away with that, and we're going to fit a lap belt in the middle seat. Yeah, looking nice. That is the seats back in. I absolutely love the design of these. VW really done well with designing them. You can pop them out and pop them in seconds. Tested seat belts out, work spiffingly. Going to give the seats a clean because they're absolutely minging. Wet cloth, bit of truck wash, run them over, bit of a vax, make them nice and clean for him. And yeah, let's get back on with the colour coding. Primer's gone off for about 24 hours now. Need to tickle it off. Same with the front bumper. We'll get it in the booth, get it bagged up, get it painted, and we're getting a step closer to giving it back. Oh yeah. Had a bit of a tidy up in the booth. I'm going to paint the side mouldings and the wing mirror covers in here, and then I'll use my friend's spray booth to paint the front bumper. Primer's gone off. It's had a day and a half. Already done the other side. We're on to the passenger side. I've got 320 in my hand, and I am lightly tickling it off. Again, no sander. It'd be hard push to get a sander in there. Might as well just do it by hand. 320 to smooth it out, and then we're going to go over it with a 500, and then I'll probably go over it with a soft pad 500 too. Not 100% necessary. If it was silver, you'd definitely need to go with something a bit smoother, maybe an 800 or something. Some people still use wet and dry, but nah. Literally, I'm just flattening off all the primer, being extra careful with my sandpaper because I don't want to scratch the door and have to polish it out, or even worse, paint it. As easy as that. I've got to go around the edges a bit more. Yeah, looking good. 320, 500, the exact same process. And this is just taking the scratch marks out, and we can finesse. A little bit tedious. It's just as much effort to paint these little side mouldings that it is the front bumper, believe it or not. Because once this is rubbed down, I'll have to peel this tape off and tape it up for the 3rd time and bag the whole car up. Apart from a little bit around the edges, that is silky smooth. I'll get this done, and it's late at night. I'm probably going to sand the bumper down tomorrow, give that another 12 hours to go off, because I put 3 coats on that. It is cold. If it is the summer, you get away with doing it the next day. But it ain't. It's winter. I'll get this smashed out and we'll catch up tomorrow on the front bumper. Oh yeah. So it's the following day. We're all taped up. We're taped up the other side. We'll take the wing mirrors up. We'll have a look in a minute. And just to make sure, all my tape goes inside the door shut and around on the inside. Now we don't want any paint blowing through this gap. So we've got a big tape. We're going to back mask this edge, slightly fold it over, shut the door slowly, because if you shut it fast it blows out. Now we've got a bit of tape in there so paint can't blow in and blow a load of overspray in the door shut. Wing mirrors all taped up and we're going to paint the caps. I was going to take them apart, but this one's been all glued together and I don't want to take it apart, have it freshly painted, then have to glue it together and hope it doesn't fall off. So we're just going to paint them on the car, and of course I've got to paint in this area round there. Not the best situation, but you have to tape it up so it still moves. So we're going to paint in there, then I'm going to lightly close it and paint the outside, and then obviously we'll have it all bagged up around the outside. Not the nicest way to do something, but I'd rather do that than take it apart and it fall to bits. It's all bagged up. I've done the outside. Quick demonstration how we're going to do this. Got one of these cutters, Optima cutter. You can get grey ones that have got rounder edges, but they're not very good. We've got the best ones. Now I'm going to cut the bagging out, and whenever you're doing your bagging, I'm sure some of you know, but just for those that don't, you want it to be as tight as possible, because what you don't want to do is go to paint with the gun and all the air pressure start making the bag flat. So you want it as tight as possible. So I'm going to pull that down, tape it, pull that down, tape it, up, in, get it nice and tight. Wing mirror is still movable, and then we're going to cut out along there. I'll get this done and I'll show you how it looks. Stuck the tape on, pulled it tight. We still would move the wing mirror. Oh yeah. And then before I go to paint, I will double check there's no exposed open gaps, because the last thing you want to do is go to paint it, be a little gap, and start getting puffs of overspray, because all the overspray you get you need to clean off, and effectively you're doing that for free, because you can't charge the customer for cleaning overspray off because you didn't tape up. So any less time you could shave off at the end, the better. Anyway, that's done. Bagging's tight, and if you go to a body shop and they say it's £300 to paint those little side trims, you're like, what, how much? Can't you just... No, you can't just, because it'll end up crap. If you want a really nice job, you have to pay for it. And the good thing about these cutters with a little point, you can literally pierce it straight through the bag, run round where you're cutting a bit further than where you need, so obviously you need to put the tape on. Pull in my bag tight. Peel off the bit you're going to paint. Exactly the same if you're painting a whole body, wing, door, same process. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it to the bagging, and I'm going to pull the bagging a bit tighter before I stick it down. Come on. Like so. All ready to go. So with prepping, bit of a crap angle from there, I do apologise, but all the spray goes that way. If I have my camera down here, it'll get covered. Anyway, I prep these with red scotch the living out of them, then with plastic primed them. It's all gone off, ready to go. I've got 300ml of Caddy white mixed up, 100ml for the wing mirrors and the side mouldings, and we've got 200mm left for the bumper, and I will have to do that in here. So plan is, I'm going to paint these. These will sit for an hour while I rub the front bumper down. While I'm doing that, this is drying, and when I'm finished the bumper and ready for paint, these will be dry, demask it, get it out, get the bumper in it. Anyway, enough chit chat. When painting side mouldings, there's obviously a little gap that runs. So I want to get enough paint on there so they look shiny, but you don't want to load them up so then you fill that gap in, otherwise it looks awful. So we need enough on there, but not too much. I didn't get a new airline fitting. My airline fitting leaks a little bit. I don't like that, but it'll have to do for today. Let's get on with it. Come on, help me out. I'm going to start with the wing mirror first. I'll get the other side done, let that flash off for half hour, then I'll come in and put another heavy coat over the lot. We won't film that, so we'll skip to the bumper. I'll get a better shot of painting the bumper straight on, so let's skip to the bumper. Bumper's all rubbed down, looking sweet, just need to give it a clean off. I've given it a blow off, we rubbed it down with 320, we rubbed it down with 500, gone round the edges with something soft, pre-clean it, get it in the booth hanging. Let's have a look at the bits we painted earlier. Let's have a little butchers. It was about an hour and a half ago. And oh yeah, shiny. Now we're going to test it. And look, I can touch that. Nothing's coming off. So that is dry enough. Obviously not to send out the door. Another couple of hours would be nice, but we need to demask it carefully, remember. Peel your tape off slowly. You wouldn't want to catch any tape on your freshly painted areas. Get it out the booth, get the bumper in, clean it off, tape it up, and yeah, we're nearly there. And if we have a look, can you see the uniform gap down the bumper moulding? No paint gloopage. Happy days. Yeah, they are looking good. Right, we're nearly there. Just demasking, and I want to show how much paint that has collected. See all that on there? That would have been in the door shut if we hadn't put that there. So yeah, little tip. Right, finally we're there. It's been cleaned, blown off, tack ragged, fresh tape, fresh paper. It's really clean, and yeah, I'm happy. We've got it hanging. I've re-wet the floor, and I haven't mentioned this yet. I'm using a 2-pack paint, and it's basically an all-in-one paint. So the shine is in the paint. No base and lacquer or 2-stage. This is a single stage, straight gloss, candy white, same as the paint code. Wing mirrors and mouldings look good. We're ready to go. Full tub of paint in the gun, cleaned, we're ready. Let's get on with it. Gonna let that flash off for about 20 minutes. Come in, and what I'll do by testing it, I'll just keep touching the paper. When it's touch dry, almost, we're ready for the next coat. If you was in a real rush, you could leave that, that's absolutely spot on, but we want plenty of paint on there. Give it 20 minutes, we'll come in and we'll give it an even heavier coat. You must do your first coat light or it'll end up running off. Yeah, spot on, no dirt in that at all. Let's I won't film the next step, we'll just skip to tomorrow. I'm going to let this sit until tomorrow morning. Looking fresh. That is it, we're all done. Really happy with the colour, because as I say, we went edge to edge. Sometimes you need to blend panels out, but that was edge to edge, 2-pack paint, candy white. Oh yeah, looking fresh. Really happy with the bumper. It's come out real nice. I like the contrast between the black and the white. Yeah, hopefully the customer's happy. Really like it in white. I really like the Audi wheels on it too. Wing mirrors, very nice. We bit of two-tone going on. We did leave some black. Yeah, you see a little bit of the glue I mentioned earlier in the video, but yeah, looking sweet. Side mouldings, they make an absolute massive difference. Very pretty. Ideally, it needs the back bumper and the little trim above the number plate. They would look good all white. I'll mention it to him. Maybe we can do that at a later date, because he does want a couple more bits done. But also done his rail cover. Forgot I had it till the last minute, which was lucky because I still had enough paint in the gun. His rail cover, I'll show you what it looked like before. Don't look too pretty. Yeah, it looks unfinished, doesn't it, from VW. They should have put them on from the factory. But bang, check that out. Yeah, they make a massive difference. Side mouldings again, looking sweet. No paint gloopage along the top. Yeah, really nice. Colour is absolutely spot on. Wing mirror, again, looking sweet. Hopefully he's happy. And then, of course, fitted his seats. Need to give him another quick clean before he turns up. Seat belts are all in. We do need to do a lap belt, as I say, because we don't want to be putting a seat belt hanging off the roof, because it then comes across. It just looks weird. So we're going to put a lap belt in the middle. He has got a Caddy maxi trim to go in there. Interesting, because I want to see that, because I need one for mine. But yeah, rear seats, very nice. We are done. Last little walk round. I've given it a wipe, but if you remember earlier in the video, I washed it straight away. So when you peel the bagging off, as long as you've got no overspray, it's literally, pull the bagging off, it's ready to go. Yeah, really like that in white. It's a bit of a Caddy convention down here in a minute. Well, I say Caddy convention, it's a VW convention. And also, Pete's here in his TT as well, so it's literally a VAG meet. I'll get a few people commenting on the channel, a few people sending me messages about doing work and stuff. What with all the projects, few customers I've got, and YouTube, I don't really get time to do any extra work. So if you message me and I have to let you down, I do apologise. Please don't be offended. I do have a Facebook page, DTE TV. You might see early snippets of upcoming projects, work like this done, so check that out. Send me a message. You can even comment and send pictures of your own stuff. And yeah, just a bit of general chit chat. If you found the video useful, click the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.